Hey Spuddies, PotatoMcWhiskey here, and this is Rogue Tower. This is a very addictive tower defense game. Now, tower defense games are some of my favorite games of all time. In fact, just defending in general is like one of the most epic things you can do in a game, right? You have like one dude on the castle walls and there's millions of troops coming at you. It's why Helm's Deep is such like an epic scene. Like everyone loves like the idea of triumphing or eventually being overwhelmed by like a ridiculously huge force, but like in the meantime you'd like take them all out. And this is a roguelike tower defense game, which is an evolution in the genre I've been waiting for my whole life. It's absolutely fantastic. It has meta progression, it has like relatively fast runs, it has everything you would want from a roguelike tower defense. So you have a ridiculously huge upgrade tree with, you know, obelisk towers, all sorts of nutty stuff like shredders and flamethrowers. You start out with a fully upgraded ballista, as well as an OK mortar and a Tesla coil, and like a couple of, like every tower starts out like a little bit upgraded. Like they have basic upgrades, but they don't actually have these upgrades. How it works is when you're playing the game, you'll like draw a card and you can like pick one of these upgrades. And over here, the blue upgrades are permanent. So if I pick up here, that means every time I draw a card in the game, as the roguelike thing, I'll be able to have another option and maybe get the one that I want. I will increase the enemy's gold drop. I will start with an extra 20 gold. I did just do one quick run so I could show off the upgrade system and actually click on things. So I'm going to unlock the... I'll unlock the mine. That could be kind of a fun thing to have. Let's go for sorcery, mana capacity, fortification. I need 4 more cards for extra gold drop here. And you know what can actually be kind of fun? Is if you pick up the banditry card here. It can be drawn because it's yellow. You have to actually pick it, but if you pick it, enemies will give 2 gold extra when they die, but they do 1 more damage to your tower. So it's kind of a risk-reward type thing that I find kind of exciting. So we've got our upgrades picked. Let's go ahead and jump into the game. I'm going to do single defense now. I only got to level 9 last time, but like I don't think I'm ready for these big ones. Because let me tell you, level 9, you get there quick. Okay? So there's a few concepts that we need to consider with this game. Every time you click expand, a new tile is randomly generated and a new wave of enemy comes. So I know if I click expand and then place a tower, I will kill that enemy. Wave is defeated and then we can move on to the next wave. But these randomly generated tiles have different elevations. So you can see here, this tower is up high. So it's actually getting a damage multiplier based on the height. And I believe it's 10% per Z level. So like if I place a tower here, this one is getting 100, does 100 base health damage. This is the base damage, and then these are the multipliers. So ballistas are very good at killing things that don't have armor or shields. You can upgrade them to be good against armor if you so wish, but you can see because this one is up higher, it gets a higher base damage. So if you put it up 1 level, its base damage is 11. If you put it up another level, its base damage is 12. And then if you put it up another level, its base damage is 13. So let's go ahead and just kind of undo all that. You probably only need like 1 or 2 towers early game. I'll go with 2. Now, the interesting thing is this is an iron vein. So if I place a mine next to this, I will gather iron. And iron mines will give my tower +1 health and a 10% chance every round to restore health. This is a house. It will give you the level in gold. So if you're on level 2, you'll get 2 gold per every tower you have around it. So I'm going to like completely surround this thing in towers, because that is just going to be long-term eco for me, because that's going to give me 6 gold this round, and then it's going to give me 9 gold next round, and that's just going to generally be printing money for me. I don't really need to do much with these guys. These guys can be kind of like my reserve towers that kind of take out enemies from far away. Oh my god, I generated the exact same tile again. I guess we're going full eco here. We don't really need to do anything special here. I might specialize these towers. No, I don't think I need to specialize against armor just yet. I haven't seen armor. But you can see sometimes it's not ideal to have all of them shooting at the same thing. And then after a certain number of rounds, I think it's 3 or 4, I don't remember exactly off the top of my head, you can pick an upgrade. So I can pick up sorcery 1, gain +3 mana per second. I can build mana siphons. This is, mana siphons cost you 100 gold, but they give you 1 mana per second, which can be used to upgrade certain towers. This is just a permanent upgrade for my ballistas, +1 range. 5% slow is quite good. Range is like disgustingly powerful, I've found, because sometimes this path like loops back upon itself. And so like this tower here might be able to hit like a orc over here. There's different kind of enemies. There's all sorts of stuff going on. Let's pop a ballista here. And I probably might make like an anti-armor ballista battery here. So you can like choose what the towers attack. So these 2 ballistas are going to be aiming at the most armor. So anything that gets through the future shredded stuff with armor is going to be targeted by these 2 towers. And they have an extra +1 damage because they're up high, which is kind of cool. I'm going to get this guy to target the least health and then progress. And then this guy will target the most health and then progress, just so they're not all shooting at the same thing. We're going to spread our damage just slightly. And then this guy is going to be looking to finish off people that are near death. Another house. Okay, this is going to be expensive, but like the long-term value in surrounding these is kind of insane. This is 10 gold next round, right? This is giving me 15. Long-term, it's quite expensive to do this, but it is kind of crazy. I should probably unlock another tower soon, and I could probably, actually, if I really think about it, I could set up this as another battery that is designed to be anti-armor. So there's actually quite a bit of depth to this game. The amount of gold you gain from an enemy is actually proportional to the number of towers that attacked that enemy plus upgrades. As towers attack, they'll build experience based on the type of health damage they did. So if a tower does health damage, it'll level up its health damage ability. If a tower hits armor, it'll level up its armor. And once this fills out, this multiplier gets bigger. That's kind of exciting and interesting in my opinion. It'll go expand. I'm really loving the amount of houses that I have because the passive gold I'm getting from that is just going to stack up so much over the course of the game. So let's go ahead and set these guys to attack armor. I think that is... because shredding armor, I think, is going to be the job here. Anything that gets through here with armor is going to be like necessary to shred. Because the towers back here, these guys are going to be mostly shooting things with health. So the level ups that they pick up will mostly be in anti-health stuff. We can get another range on our ballistas, or +1 damage to armor, or we can get mortar towers. I think I'm going to pick up mortar towers. I think about now is like a good point, and I'm going to put it next to this house too. They have like a really good range and a really good blast radius, and I'm going to tell this guy to also target the most armor, and we will just go ahead and expand another house. Oh my god, it might not be worth it at this point to put it next to the house because it is the round number times the number of houses. Oh, it's only protected by 3 towers. Oh, I guess the mortar doesn't count as a tower. So let's demolish that and replace it over here and set it to most armor. Otherwise, I wanted to target things with the most health because what I wanted to do is to attack things in the center of the enemy packs. You can see here, once they come around this corner, a battery of ballistas are waiting for anything that made it through with health. So apparently mortars don't count as towers. So can I protect you with this now? It's protected by 3 towers, really. So if I expand now... Oh, and by the way, eventually the path branches, and now 3 waves of enemies are going to come from here. Just by the by, if you were wondering, this looks kind of easy. It gets harder the further you go, okay? It gets a lot harder the further you go. Can you only protect a house by 3 towers? Is that the limit? I don't know, I'm kind of confused by that. There's a few things I haven't fully figured out with this game, but man, look at the satisfying explosion on that mortar. And if I wanted to, I could go ahead and just click here and level this bad boy up. But he will slowly level up as he does damage on it by himself, which is really, really nice. Let's keep expanding. I think a mortar in the center here actually would be really amazing, because this would have serious coverage over a bunch of guys. And you can see now we're getting the heavily armored sort of night orcs, which is going to be quite tough to deal with. I want you to target armor, most armor. Now, this guy will only probably get like 1 or 2 shots off this round, which is not ideal. But it should be fine. We've got like serious AoE damage to like shred them down. And then we've got a battery of anti-armor guys here. I sold one of my towers because it doesn't seem to be registering that I'm protecting that house. And instead I want to start protecting this house as well for the long-term eco play. Let's see. So I can increase my bleed. Well, I don't have anything that does bleed. I could get mines now. Or I could get anti-shield. Well, I don't have to deal with shields yet. Quality over quantity. This is like a pretty significant DPS loss. But if my towers do level up, they have a chance to crit. I don't know if I love quality over quantity. Let's pick up mines. Let's go for a more defensive-oriented play. So for 150 gold, I can get +1 health on my tower. And a little bit of extra, a chance to restore health. So it gives you, it might get you through an extra wave or 2, depending on your eco. But you can see it's a good idea to try to expand equally in all 3 directions so that the waves kind of all arrive at once. So the mortars do optimal amounts of damage to them. That's like a little tip that I've kind of figured out. Mortars aren't perfect at leading opponents. Sometimes they kind of like, they're a little, you know, they're not perfect. The straighter the line is, the better. Usually I find the mortar. They can miss. It's rare that I see a mortar miss, to be fair, to their credit. Ooh, it's a lot of health to chew through here. So these are like regenerating guys. Ideally, I would have something that did bleed damage to suppress their healing. Because units can't heal if they're bleeding. A well-known fact of all living creatures is that if you are bleeding, you cannot heal. So let's go ahead and target most armor and then most health. This is like the setup that I found kind of works for me for mortar towers. And now I want these guys to target people based on... I want you to target least health, and I want you to target most health. So these guys exist to tap enemies and get the gold from them if the mortars hit them. Because that's what we want. We want to be able to get gold from the mortars tapping the enemies. So you can see the amount of gold that we're starting to pick up from these houses is starting to kind of pay for towers. It's not a huge amount just yet, but you can see over the course of the game, nearly 200 gold has been earned from most of these houses, and that's going to continue to stack in. Every time I click this expand button, I'm getting value from that decision that I made earlier. Let's build a mine. So if I build a mine, you'll see my tower HP went up 1, and it has a 5% chance to repair damage. Oh, now we're getting battering rams. So battering rams are really interesting because they're super heavy armor, and there's also units hiding out inside of them. So they're kind of like the elite balloons. I don't know if you've played Balloons TD. You pop these guys and then a bunch of dudes will like pop out of them. Yeah, like that. Scatter. Boom. So you have to be careful about... Make sure your mortar towers are like targeting high armor units to chew through this health. Oh, here we go. I think I can deal with this stuff down here pretty easily. The fact that my ballistas have +1 range is kind of huge because it means I get an extra shot or 2 in on them, which is honestly carrying me when it comes to like the further end of my my tower defense. All mortars gain +1 damage to armor, or ballistas deal +1 damage to health. I feel like +1 damage to health here is the way to go because ballistas already have a really good health multiplier, so increasing that is really, really good. Put a ballista here, and I'll have this guy target the least health so he can kind of finish people off. I think I'd like another mortar tower. That's going to be my next goal. It would be nice to have like a backup mortar tower deep in here, just in case one of those battering rams gets quite deep into my territory. Oh yeah, man, there's something really satisfying about the mortars. Like I really, really like using the mortars. It's honestly, it's rare in a game, like a tower defense game, and this is going to sound absurd considering how popular tower defense games are and how long they've been around, but it's actually rare that you get like a mortar that feels like it does something. Mortars almost always feel useless. I don't know, maybe I'm crazy, but I've been playing defense games for a very long time, and it's rare for me to find a mortar that feels like it's doing anything. So I'm feeling like mortars are all I kind of need here to keep chewing through these bad guys. There's another +3 spot here, so most armor, then most health. And my logic between most armor and most health is that I want my mortars to target people at the center of groups, and people with more health are more likely to be at the center of groups because weaker, smaller units will probably be running up past them. So this is just a good way to guarantee A, that I'm getting really efficient damage with my armor multiplier on high armor things, and then getting maybe some guaranteed AoE damage. I don't know, I've just found that this setup works quite well for me. I'm expecting like another split in the path soon. Actually, you know what? These towers are probably not worth having here. I'm going to delete those ballista towers over here. I think focusing on this area is probably good for me. I'd love to get a Tesla tower on this tile because it would like zap anything as it runs through. There's like, I actually have a really good spots for quite a few Tesla towers. Ooh, we've got a boss. Now, that's a little scary. I think I have the damage to kill this guy because he's going to run up into like a ton of really high health damage ballista towers with really good range. So I don't think I have to worry here. Like, he's going to get shredded as he walks along here. And you know what? I think I can also just like add some extra mines. Like, I think that's actually something I can just do. Now I've got 14 tower health and a 15% chance to restore a health every round. I don't know if they like stack their ability. Oogie smash. Okay. He might actually get through here. He seems to be not taking as much damage or something. Can I pump money in here? Almost. We almost beat him. That's kind of disappointing, actually, that we didn't beat him. So I guess I just didn't invest enough in the in ballista towers to actually do damage to high health units. That's why it's important. Like ballistas should be targeting like high health units, and then your mortars deal with armor, your ballistas deal with health, and then your Tesla coils deal with shields. But you can kind of counter specialize and stuff like that. One thing I'll be careful about: this reset XP, that doesn't like give you your XP back. It like deletes all your progress. So be careful with that button here. But we just completed the run, which means we can come in here and maybe unlock some new stuff. Let's unlock some new towers. Let's get the Frost Keep, the Flamethrower, the Poison Sprayer, and Encampment. Yeah, let's get the Encampment. Let's have some fun here. And then I got 40 XP left. What can I get? Extra gold drop. Boom. So now I get more money. So you can see this is the roguelike progression. You go in, you play around, you come back out, you get money, and then you do another round. Let's see how far we can get this time. So I hope you can start to see why I immediately know that I'm addicted to this game. And in fact, the thought that I own this game is actually dangerous to my health. I'm going to actually drop 2 towers on this house straight away, because that's just like long-term value. And I want you guys targeting... Actually, I want these 2 are my last line of defense, so I want them targeting progress. This is a good spot for a ballista. So I want this ballista targeting most health, and I definitely want to surround this house with towers as well. This is long-term serious value. So I definitely feel like you want ballistas targeting most health. I don't know if I'm crazy, but it just feels like that's what they were designed to do. Okay, so we can pick up Fortification 1 or fortifies nearby paths. Oh, I want to use the encampment. So, it's quite expensive. So what's the range on this thing? Okay, so it has like a very short range. It's 2 boxes, which kind of makes me want to sell this, demolish it, and put it here instead. So this is quite good. Its fire rate is 9 rounds per minute. Interesting. So I wonder how this actually works. Does it like... Oh, I see. It slowly just puts out mines, and then someone steps on it and they die. Now I'm curious, how good is this tower? I imagine it can't be amazing. It seems quite good against armor. I like it though. I think it's cool. Let's continue to expand. Boom. I'm a big fan of the encampment. 9 rounds per minute seems quite low. It's like every 15 seconds it might kill 1 unit. And I can't tell if it's like AoE at all. Oh, boom, boom, boom. It seems like it's quite good because it essentially stores up damage for you to use later. Oh, man, they're getting through. Oh, no. We just barely held them. Okay, so we're going to need a couple more towers here. So let's have another couple of towers on most health. Now, I'm going to need probably some proper way to deal with armor. And I probably need a couple of these guys like targeting lowest health just to make sure that those low health guys are actually dying. But damn, yeah, those mines seem actually quite a bit more powerful than I thought, especially if I can like get a good stack of units all together. I don't think encampments are something you want to spam. I definitely feel like that's not the case. So we can get a Frost Keep or Tesla Coil. Let's get a Tesla Coil. I like Tesla Coils. It does use mana. And I actually have a pretty decent spot right here for my Tesla Coil, but I will have to wait. We got a 2-path split over here. Let's put in another one targeting least health, just so we're actually getting some kills. But I would really like to plop a Tesla Coil somewhere in around here, because every unit that's hit by a tower gives you +1 gold. Boom! Explosions are nice. Damn, that's really good. Okay, I take it back about the minefield. It actually is quite good, especially the longer your path gets and the longer they take to get to the minefield. Seems way more powerful than I gave it credit for initially. So I'm going to Tesla Coil right here. Now the Tesla Coil has a similar sort of a range compared to the encampment, but it fires every second and hits everything in range. So it's quite good at dealing with like small fast enemies, and it has quite good damage against shields and health. Not very good against armor, but otherwise it seems okay. Very nice. I think we're holding really, really well. Let's continue to expand Reno. Do I want another Tesla Coil? I think I could sustain another Tesla Coil, and this isn't a bad spot. It'll clear out all the little dudes, like with high efficacy, which is kind of what you want. And it basically will just like soften up the wave as it comes in a little bit. And I do think it's good, in my opinion, it's good to have like a good mixture of towers, because every time you build a tower, that particular tower gets more expensive. So like having a little bit of a mixture definitely seems worth. Now we are running into a little bit of a problem here. These healing trolls are a problem. The problem is I don't have like real AoE damage. We're going to take a little bit of damage here. It's not the end of the world. A ballista's gaining range is okay. Frost bolts is actually surprisingly powerful. I'm going to grab frost bolts and have this guy focus on armor. So he'll just slowly chip away at like armored units. No, let's just have him focus on progress. Anything that's like ahead of the curve. So my big problem is the lack of anything that deals with armor. I think that's just like the failure of this particular run. Actually, I don't know how to like speed up. I don't know how to like speed up time. I don't even know if that's something you can do. But you can see this little blue bar that appears underneath people. That's how much they're slowed. And the more they're shot, I think the more the slow stacks. These healing trolls are such a pain. But I feel like we're dealing with things relatively okay. Let's sprinkle in some more ballistas and then expand again. Oh yeah, when they stack up around the Tesla tower, that feels amazing. And my hope is that by ballistas slowing them, they'll kind of gather up and maybe like stack up on the mines. I don't know if that's going to be how it works, but that's like my hope. Because I'm pretty sure the mines are AoE. So like, if we can get them all together, it does like significantly increase the amount of like value we're getting from the mine. Yeah, unfortunately, another group is going to get through. It's okay, Copium. we can take one more leak, I think, before things get really, really bad. Maybe I'll do this. Let's upgrade you with a ton of armor damage and set you to focus most armor. So maybe this tower hitting, like focusing on armor might be able to make a difference here. Because you can see it's chunking now big armor opponents, which is usually not what these towers are good against. But I'm hoping that by doing this, I'll reduce the total amount of armor that's like getting through to my backline. I'm also going to take these guys off most health. I'm going to focus them on progress. The further along someone is, the bigger the threat they are at this point. Yeah, you look, this tower is like single-handedly shredding this ram, which is helping a lot. If one of those rams gets to your tower, it's super bad. You'll take like insane damage. Frost Keep will use mana to slow people down. I don't actually have enough mana to really sustain my Tesla towers because they do use 7 mana per shot. Jeez. I could go for more slowing on my ballistas. The Hail Mary mine play. I feel like Frost Bolts is my best play. Well, yeah, I don't have the mana, so I think I'm going to go Frost Bolts and hope that just having like an insane number of ballistas might like keep me alive. A 10% slow is becoming significant, especially if you stack it like this. I need to like pump money into this tower so its armor damage multiplier is higher because it needs to chunk these hard. And it's doing the job, kind of. Oh, there's like something gone wrong with this guy here, or there's like something inside this, like a zombie or something. Unfortunately, I don't think we make it past this. I think this is where, you know, the die is cast and we lose the run. But, you know, it was a good run. We got to level 13. That was 4 more levels, I think, than the last run. What was our max run? I don't remember. Oh no, we actually got to the boss last time. So I think tower look kind of played a part there. But we've got another 88 experience to spend. I just upgrade my mana and then head back in and play another round. Like, this is the gameplay loop is just so satisfying and incredible. I can't get over how much fun I'm having playing the game. Man, the positioning of that house is like really annoying. Let's go ahead and ballista right there. Ah, a good house, perhaps. Let's get some ballistas around that house. Amazing. Now, you might say that like this seems like not a very good investment. 3 towers to protect 1 house. But the value generated from houses over a long period of time is insane. So, ballistas consume a small amount of mana, but they gain +3 base damage. 3 base damage is huge. But let's go for a Frost Keep. We have mana to play with. So how does a Frost Keep work? It has slightly higher range than other towers. It fires 342 times per second per round, and it uses 2 mana per second. That seems quite good. Yeah, this thing looks like it actually does damage. I'm gonna be real with you guys. This thing actually looks like it carries, like hard. Oh, I see. It's like dropping raindrops that have to like hit enemies. Interesting. That's crazy. Now I wonder, does that only fire? Oh. What if I were, hold on. What if I were to demolish you? Just hear me out. I demolish this Frost Keep and I put it here on this +3 so it gets even higher damage. Does that give it extra range? Hold on. Shut the front door. Range 2? Wait, does being on a higher elevation also boost your range? It does. Oh, by half a tile. That's quite powerful. Ah, okay. So we've actually learned a new mechanic here. So this thing, ideally, should be, you know, carpeting this entire area in like frost memes. Now these +3s are actually huge. Now I realize they're giving range as well. So I need to be prioritizing putting towers on those. But you can see this thing just starts dropping snow. It's firing 486 times a minute. And while not every snowdrop hits, the probability that a snowdrop hits is relatively high. Like it's doing damage. So I'm quite satisfied with this tower already. I don't think I can... I think I need more mana before I like expand the amount of these that I use. But to me, it totally seems viable to like put a couple of ballistas near it. In particular, let's see here, repair. Enemies drop 2 gold, but they deal +1 damage to the tower. This is absolutely worth it. This early? Oh my god, that's so much money. I do want these guys to target most armor. I think I'm going to have this like specialized anti-armor. This be like a specialized anti-armor block, as well as a slow field. But I definitely feel like if I can get a little bit more mana, I could definitely do another Frost Keep over here. So because these guys will be focusing on targeting armor, they should level up over time to do more damage to armor. And that'll just be like a natural progression that they pick up. You can see like this armor damage is filling, and every time they fill this, they'll get another +1 armor damage, which will give them an extra 12 damage against armor. So it's like, it's going to be a slow progression, but it's going to be so worth it in my opinion over the long term. So people are getting closer to my keep. I need a little bit more DPS, I think. I've just got so many. The problem is I have so many people coming through at the same time. I need like less of that. So let's pop down ballistas here. Maybe these ballistas can like cooperate a little bit. Yeah, see, the problem is they're all coming through at the same time. I need to like space them out. Now I shouldn't die from this. Now I could get a flame tower, but I have no way to generate mana. +1 damage to armor would help me a lot here, I think, on my ballistas. So I'm going to take that armor damage. Place a ballista over here, and we'll expand this way. We want to like delay how quickly they all come at the same time, which is probably not ideal to have a slow tower doing the opposite of that. And I want you to target least health. Need to get rid of some of this, like the crappy healthed units as they approach. Now this is feeling a lot better. That +1 damage to armor honestly saved us there, it feels like. Yeah, things are starting to look a little bit better. They're getting through with a lot of armor, which is worrisome. Oh, I think I lose. Damn, I was too greedy. I think the Frost Keep just wasn't good enough, unfortunately. Listen, I'm going until I beat that boss, okay? I want to beat that Ooga Booga guy or whatever his name was.